Every day, Sir Toppin Hat came to Tidmouth Sheds to see his engines and pony workers.
Hello, Thomas. Don't let the silly cars get the better of you. Remember, you two have a special job to do in Tidmouth Yard. Now, off you go then.
There were lots of freight cars, and Thomas and Twilight worked very hard, pushing and pulling them into their proper places. There was also a small workman's coach, and two strange pieces of machinery which Twilight and the workmen called cranes.
Hey, Twilight, what are those strange machines on flatbeds?
Oh, those? That's the breakdown train, of course. And those strange machines are really cranes. They're used for lifting engines, coaches, and freight cars, even road vehicles, but they aren't meant to be used unless it's an emergency.
I see. I'll remember that.
Later on, they were still working in the yard. Suddenly, they heard an engine whistling and ponies screaming in the distance.
Help! Somebody do something!
A goods train came rushing through, way too fast. The new engine was James, and he was frightened. His wooden brake blocks were on fire and were streaming sparks. The pony that was with him was Rarity, and this was her first day working with James, and she was frightened as well.
They're pushing us! I can't stop!
Whatever shall we do?
Poor James and Rarity went under a bridge and disappeared out of sight.
What just happened here? And was that Rarity on that runaway?
Could be. I'd like to teach those freight cars a lesson not to mess with us engines and ponies of all kinds.
Soon the alarm on the signal box went off, and the signalman ran out and shouted,
James is off the line at Crosby! Summon the breakdown train, quickly!
You heard him, Twilight. Let's help James and Rarity.
Right away! To the breakdown shed!
Thomas was coupled to the breakdown train, and off they went. Thomas was puffing his hardest.
Come on, Twilight. Pick up the pace.
He wasn't pretending to be like Gordon and Rainbow Dash. He really meant it.
Bother those cars and their pranks.
I just hope James and Rarity aren't hurt out there.
Meanwhile, at a cow field, Rarity and the rest of James's crew were checking him all over to see if he was hurt.
Jamesy, darling, are you all right? Your paintwork is ruined, and I hate to see that red coat wasted by an accident such as this. It really sparkled in the sun with your brass dome.
Don't worry, Rarity. I've had bad days like this before, but otherwise, I'm fine. How could my brakes have suddenly failed right away?
Never mind, James. It wasn't really your fault. It was those nasty old-fashioned wooden brakes they gave you. We always said they weren't safe to use, but they just never listened.
Indeed, I should give a good complaint to the men at the Sodor steamworks about this.
Thomas pushed the breakdown train alongside. Then he and Twilight pulled away the undamaged freight cars.
Good gracious, I can't take this anymore!
Serves you cars right for being foolish.
They were hard at work popping backwards and forwards all afternoon.
This will teach you not to mess with us engines and ponies.
Please! We'll do anything!
They left the broken cars and mended the line very quickly. Then with two cranes, they put James back on the rails. He tried to move, but he couldn't, so Thomas and Twilight helped him back to Tidmouth Sheds. Toppin Hat was waiting anxiously for them.
Well, Thomas, I've heard all about it, and I'm very pleased with you and Twilight. You're a really useful engine. James shall go to the steelworks to have some new proper brakes and a new coat of red paint. And you, Thomas, shall have a branch line all to yourself as a reward.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now Thomas and Twilight were as happy as can be. They now have a branch line with 2 coaches named Annie and Clarabelle. The blue Tang engine puffs proudly backwards and forwards with his 3 girls all day. He is never lonely all the time. Edward, Applejack, Henry, and Fluttershy stop quite often at Dry Off Station and tell each other the news. Yorn and Rainbow Dash are always in a hurry, but they never forget to whistle hello. And Thomas and Twilight always whistles back in return.